Okay, Shane, I'm going to leave this setup,
Okay.
and I'm going to go into my kitchen
Mhm.
and start setting up for cooking. I got a question for everyone in chat. Okay, first of all, take that pineapple pizza off of the chat. Okay. Who's cooking with me? Who's cooking with me? Who here is going to cook? I want to see.
Well, the other thing we want to do is if you're cooking or you've got ILF merch, we'd love to see you guys posting that out there also.
Oh,
so
yeah.
we can see that.
Okay, so I'm gonna go into the other room and get set up. Let's see. You guys tell me who's cooking, and we'll be there in a minute. Door dashers and cooking. Come on, this is easy stuff. Don't be a wuss. Cook with me. Shopping list is on the schedule. Hopefully you guys already got it. Someone at least tell me you're cooking with me. I got to have at least one person doing this with me. So speak up, and I'll talk to you guys in like literally a minute.
Yep, and while we're waiting on you, this is donation matching this hour is brought to you by Social Engineer for up to $1,000. So I'm pretty certain we hit 5K. We're at 6,700 already. So add another 5 onto that, and you would say we're at 11.7, which is almost halfway to our goal in the first hour, my friends. We are doing amazing stuff here. I'm going to go work on some technical difficulty we're having with the raffle bucks, and we're going to figure out a system or something to make this work. So you stand by. I'm going to leave up a nice pineapple pizza while I am gone and make sure that that Chris can see it and love it. Hey, Hacker on Two Wheels, thank you. Thank you, everybody, for the donations that are coming through. There's been a lot of you. I can see you. I don't want to like start calling out names and not get to everybody. So just know that I see you. We see you. Thank you so much for the donations. Thank you so much for the subs, the bits, everything else. You guys are turning this into an amazing day for an amazing cause. So I do appreciate all of you.
Okay, let's see. My video is on. Okay, but I want to flip it. And that. Okay, can you guys see?
You're good, sir.
Woo! Okay, who said they're cooking? Anybody? Anybody say they're cooking with me?
Hey, Chris, guess what?
Yeah. What?
April Wright just said she'd match up to another $1,000.
Okay, April, go away. I love you, but go away.
So that's 2,000 in matching this hour, my friends.
Someone asked, I'm not a noob, but who is that guy?
What do you do to your students, Chris, for them to do this to you, man?
I don't know. Okay, tell me, who's cooking? Okay, is anyone cooking with me? I just need to know. Okay, good. I see a couple people. This is good. Okay. So here's what we need, guys. We're gonna move a little quick. Amaya's running the camera. If you miss something, please say it in the chat, and one of the guys will speak up and tell me that I'm missing something. So we got a bunch of stuff. Hopefully you got the shopping list that you're gonna need there to cook, and we're gonna do things in progression because a lot of things have to happen at one time, right? So the first thing we got to do is hopefully you got your rice noodles. We're making pad thai and we're making chicken satay. If you don't eat meat and you have tofu, we'll talk about that. If anyone's using tofu, if you can put it in the chat, please let me know. That way I can tell you about how to get the tofu ready for the stir fry. That will be very important. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to open this container. We do not want to boil these noodles. That turns them into mush. So what we're going to do is we're going to just take half of this container out. We're going to put it in a pot of water just to soak it. Now you just watch the camera. And Shane, if someone says anything in the chat, I need to know. You need to tell me, okay? Shane, anyone? No one's with me.
I'm with you. You got it. We'll keep you posted.
Thank you.
I don't think anyone read the schedule because they all thought you were making pineapple pizza, right?
Pineapple pizza's later. You guys need to learn how to read. Okay, now listen. The water doesn't need to be boiling hot or anything. It just needs to be water. We're going to take these noodles and we're going to submerge them. Try not to break them all, right? You want them kind of to be nice and whole. They need to be soaking for a little bit. So get them in there. Okay. And then we're going to just set that aside for now. Okay. First things first, let's wash our hands. Let's get our towel. Okay, so we're gonna make, like I said, we're gonna make some pad thai and some chicken satay. So there's a couple things of prep. First, you want to get a cup. Just fill it with some water. This is not for drinking.
Calendar still says June. Don't mind that.
Now, hopefully you guys got some wooden skewers. If not, you have metal skewers, that's fine. You won't need to do this step. If you got wooden skewers, put them non-pointy side down in the water. This will help because you need them to be wet so they don't burn to a crisp, okay? I don't know how your oven works, but I'm going to get this on broil, and I'm going to start that now, okay? Okay, come back over here, please. Okay, so getting our garlic ready. We only need like really one giant bulb of garlic. We'll just put this aside for now, okay? You want your knife to be nice and sharp. You always want to sharpen a knife away from you. I kind of see people doing it the other way. If you slip off your guard, you're going to cut yourself. So just want to get your knife nice and sharp.
Hey, Chris, somebody
Yeah.
thinks this was pre-recorded. What do you got to say about that?
Listen, it's not pre-recorded. And if you want, listen, who said that? Who said it?
I don't know. Somebody in the chat. Chat's already
Really?
gone by.
Really?
I can't see it
Really?
anymore. Yeah.
You think it's pre-recorded? I'll pre-record you. I'll pre-record you with this right now. Yeah, okay. What's the matter for you, huh? What did they say?
They're scared for me.
Hey, they still say it's pre-recorded. That's all I got, man.
Well, okay. So we got to keep moving. You want to just get your garlic. You want to kind of get you want to keep your workspace nice and clean. Okay. And then with the garlic, we're just going to chop it up a little, right? Now, if this is your first time cutting things and you do have a sharp knife, one of the ways to tell yourself how you hold your fingers is you always hold your fingers down like this when you're chopping things, not like this, because there's a chance you can take the tip of your finger off. There's less of a chance of you cutting if you hold your fingers like this and then you hold your knife out like that, right? Then you can cut things and you can actually get pretty relatively fast at cutting things, and you're not worried about doing this or chopping your fingers off, okay? So just get that garlic. If you don't have small containers, it really doesn't matter, but just you can put the garlic in there like that, just as we're going to use it over on the stove in a couple of minutes, okay? Okay, let's do that. We'll move all this over here away. Okay, so now we're going to prep our, I'm going to get another cutting board, so I have to keep cleaning that one. We're going to prep our satay for a second so that can get marinating a little bit. So what you need is a small bowl or two.
All right, Chris, they need to know what time it is because they're just not buying that this is not pre-recorded.
It is 12:08 p.m. Eastern time. It's not pre-recorded. I don't know how, tell me to say something. Say something in chat that you want me to say.
All right, chat, you heard that. What do you want him to say?
Okay, well, we're going to keep moving while you doubters are doubting. Hopefully you got the coconut milk. Okay, now if you got the real Thai coconut milk and you're using a standard can opener, the top of the can will not work. So
everyone wants you to say, I love pineapple pizza.
I hate pineapple pizza. That's the best you're going to get, okay? Hang on, we got a noodle on the floor. Noodle down, noodle down. Okay, so we're going to open up this can of coconut milk. Okay, and now you want to put half of it, just half of it in there, okay? Now, hopefully you got your green curry paste. If we had the time, I would love to show you how to make this. It is so easy to make that once you make it the first time, you'll never use this canned stuff again. But I decided to buy this to use with you guys. since this would have been easier. I use a fork for this part. The fork is much easier. And how spicy you want this depends on how much you put in. You know, let's just say standard is going to be like maybe like that, like a half of a tablespoon. But if you like it a little spicier, put in a little bit more. Okay. That really is just up to how you want this to be. This is the peanut sauce for the satay is what we're making at this moment. Okay. Now, give this a nice mix. If you want that coconut, you want that curry paste to not be thick. You want it to be incorporated. When you're done, it should look just like that. Okay, now fish sauce. Now, if you are vegetarian or vegan and you don't use fish sauce, you can use, they have vegetarian versions of fish sauce that are things like, I think it's made from soybean. They actually call it vegan or vegetarian fish sauce. I don't know why they use the word fish sauce, but you can use soy sauce if you want. But if you're using soy sauce, use less of it because it has a different flavor. And now with this is the Thai people use this as their salt. This is their seasoning. So you want to kind of, I can't tell you how much to put. Actually, I know I'm supposed to be measuring this and telling you. So just put like 3 or 4 shakes in like that, right? You should see in there, you have a nice little puddle of it. And stir that up. Okay, so now it's all nice and incorporated. Now you take your peanut butter. And remember, you can always put more in. Taking stuff out is difficult. So just take a giant dollop of that stuff. Shane, are people still doubting?
No, I don't think they're doubting anymore. I think they realize you're live. And this is for real. So I think we're good.
Now with this, don't get too aggressive on this because you'll have coconut milk everywhere when I get closer over here. Okay, so you want to keep mixing this until it becomes fully incorporated. Now this is too watery, so we're going to add a little more peanut butter in. Actually, that's not looking bad, but it is. I like mine is a little bit thick. Just saying, I like mine a little more thick. What?
People are hating on fish sauce in the comments.
They are.
They're saying it's horrific.
Well, you have no culture, and you probably like pineapple pizza, so I can't help you there. But you're not eating the fish sauce separate. Yes, you're right. If you take a tablespoon of this and eat it, you most likely would vomit. It's very disgusting. It's fermented squid, so it is not a tasty product, but it adds a flavor to Thai food that is unique. So just listen and add a couple shakes. Okay, when you're done, yes, Shane.
Sorry. So we got a lot of folks who are trying to donate, and we're having some issues at the moment. So one of the questions that we're getting is, can I just go to the website and donate? And that is absolutely you can. However, if you go to the website and donate, we don't have a way at this moment to get you your ILF bucks if you want to get entered into the raffle. So we'll let you guys make that decision. We will get the ILF bucks fixed. We have high confidence of that. You may just have to wait for a little bit before you can do that. If you just want to donate, please go right through to the website and make that happen for us. So I hope that.
And if you're going to be hanging out with us, for a little bit, you could just wait to donate for a few minutes and see if the crew can get this fixed. Okay.
Yeah, because we're going to have a butt ton of stuff to give away now because we haven't been able to do the giveaways so far. So, and I think that's a legitimate term, right? Butt ton. That's an actual measurement. Okay.
I like them thick. Yep. So, butt ton is an actual term. It was in reference to wine and whiskey that was being transported in wine butts or whiskey butts. And it was ancient British, and they would talk about how many tons of butt they had. A little bit of history for you. Okay, now, when you have your sauce like this, it should look like this. And you do not want to refrigerate this right now. Of course, when we're done, we will. But now is a good time to taste test. So you take a little bit of that. Now, what you should taste, it should not be overwhelmingly peanut buttery. It should be spicy. Am I? You want to try? Go ahead. It should be a little bit spicy. It should have a saltiness to it, a little bit of fishiness to it, and then the peanut butter should be on the back end. So if you did that right, this would be beautiful for your satay. Okay, it's a beautiful thing. Okay, we'll put that over here. Now we need to prepare our chicken. If you are not using chicken for satay, honestly, you cannot use tofu for this. So if you aren't using chicken, I don't know what other meat you can use. Pork, beef, shrimp, anything. The process will be the same. If you're using shrimp, you just won't cut it. So we will get this set. Okay, so satay is going to go on a skewer, right? So you want it to be nice and thin. You don't want like a huge chunk, and you want the long slices. So for this, we'll just take and we'll cut nice thin slices like this off of the chicken, right? So you should see that is perfect. And April, you can look away. I'm really sorry. At least I didn't go and slaughter the chicken before we used it. Okay. So you have this. This is going to be nice, thin slice of satay there for that, okay? Perfect. Perfect. Okay. Now take this here. Just going to give my knife a little wash. Get any salmonella off of it, of course, as well as wash my hands again.
Very important. You have shank skills.
I have shank skills, I do. Very important while you're in the kitchen that you keep your hands clean because you're going to be touching food, especially if you're preparing food for other people. You need to keep your workspace and your hand clean. Okay, now for the satay. Very, very simple. We're going to take the rest of our coconut milk. We're going to pour it in there. You should have yellow Indian Madras curry. This is a non-spicy curry powder. Just take a look at that. It's kind of beautiful and has a wonderful fragrant smell. If you like Indian food at all, as soon as you smell this, you should be like, this smells like an Indian restaurant. I tend to go heavy on this. So I'm going to put like a couple tablespoons in there of that.
Am I allowed to have a question?
Yes.
Do like Thai people when they're making it in Thailand, they probably don't use Indian curry powder?
No, they do the yellow. So maybe not Indian, but yellow curry powder comes in many different kinds. I have some here that is just from America. I can't find it right now, but I have lots of spices in here. So I have some that just comes from America. Yellow curry powder. The curry plant is just ground up and it comes from many different places. They mix it with tamarind and some other wonderful spices. This one is just from India, so I like it. I like it. Okay, now a little bit of sugar. How much? Let's measure it out. I'm going to use a half a tablespoon measuring, and I'll just put a tablespoon in. Now, why the sugar? The sugar just helps the flavors of the curry and the fish sauce kind of stick to the chicken, makes it a nice marinade. Now with this, you're never going to taste the fish sauce on this, okay? This just adds salt to it, basically. So you're going to put a little bit of fish sauce in there. You can see I kind of go heavy on it, but I like that flavor. Now we want to mix this up. We don't want the curry powder being chunky or dry. So we are going to nice and incorporate that, and we're going to let this sit on the side. Okay, that is just beautiful. Look at that. That's beautiful. Okay, so we're going to sit that over here. Okay, moving on. Next thing's next. We will prepare the shrimp. Now, Shane, has anyone said they're using tofu?
I haven't seen it, so I would ask everyone, if you're using tofu, to please shout it out here in the chat.
Okay, I tend to get my camera lady's looking away, so I think you're looking at something different.
You're looking at shrimp.
I tend to get the shrimp that are yes.
We've got tofu being made. Absolutely.
Okay, so I'm going to show you that in a moment. Okay, so with the shrimp, I tend to use already deveined and easy to peel shrimp just because it makes my life easier. But
hey, Chris, quick question. Yeah. I'm very sorry. Do they need to press the tofu out?
Yes, I'm going to show you that in a minute. You guys can just hold on with the tofu, folks, and I will be with you momentarily. So anyone using tofu, hold on. Ooh, I totally murdered that shrimp. Murdered the shrimp.
It was already dead.
Yeah, it was already dead. Sorry, April. Now, my family will definitely tell you I tend to make giant messes when I cook because I treat it much like a commercial kitchen and my job is not to clean it. Today, I'm going to try to do a little different since I'm teaching you all how to cook at home. I'm going to try to keep this a little clean. So I'm going to dump any excess water out of the shrimp. I'm going to put those over there. I'm going to clean these shells up real quick. Watch out, babe. Into the trash. I'm going to rewash my hands. Okay, now, don't view inside the fridge. Point away. We don't want everyone to see how terrible the refrigerator is. Okay, where the heck is my tofu? I bought some in here just for this purpose. Yes, that would have been smart. Here we are. Okay, so I tend to buy extra firm tofu, which if you have that, that's fine. This silken stuff is actually really, really good. But let's talk about how to prepare tofu if you're using tofu. Okay, so your tofu to stick together and to not be like a giant pile of mush needs to be dry, really, really dry. So I'm going to cut this open. And then what you want from this is a couple paper towels, or if you're from the UK, some, what do they call this? Kitchen paper. Maybe I'm getting that wrong. Any Brit can correct me. A couple paper towels would be nice. We don't need all of this tofu, so we'll save the rest, but I'm going to cut a chunk of that off, okay? Depending on how much this you're making. You want to put it in between some paper towel, and you want to press it. Now, don't press so hard. You're trying to kill it, right? You're just trying to press out the liquid. You can leave that wrapped for right now. That will continue to soak up liquid. We can put that over there, okay? Okay, we got to keep our spaces clean. Now, if you don't have this at home, that's perfectly fine. I'm looking for my vinegar spray. Where the heck is it? Oh, okay. I tend to keep a bottle of white vinegar around. And why do I do that? When you're cleaning veg, you're going to eat raw. I like to put something on it, and water's not good enough to get bacteria off, and vinegar is. So I will spray my cilantro with some vinegar. I will also put in some of these bean sprouts. We don't need them all, just a handful. And I will spray those too. And now you don't want the vinegar flavor on your food, right? So I'm going to use cold water, cold tap water to rinse these off. You want it to be cold. Give that a good rinse. If you use hot water, what will end up happening is your veg will wilt. That's not good for anybody. Okay? So you want to get all of that cleaned up there. Do that to the cilantro. Same thing. The cilantro, you can feel free to kind of move it apart a little bit like that. Give it a good shake in the sink. Get that excess water off of it. I'm going to let that drain for a minute so it's not soaking wet, okay? Okay, we're getting close to cooking time. So let's figure out what we're doing first, okay? Okay, so we got our tofu. It should be relatively dry. If you feel that, you should see that it should not have a lot of, look at that, it's cracking a little. That's wonderful, okay? So we'll take our knife, and for this, it's literally just how big of a piece of tofu do you want to eat? So I'm going to cut it into like bite-sized chunks like that, right? And then I'll just put it inside of a small bowl like this that we'll use in a little bit, okay? Okay, so we got that there. Perfect. Okay. Gonna just clean up some of this mess here so it doesn't get in the way. Now, right now, what we're doing basically is we're just prepping all of these items. Okay, these, if you didn't get these, hopefully you did. These are the Thai chilies. These are really hot. Now I'm going to give you guys a tip, and I'm not being a weirdo. After you cut these, wash your hands, your knife, wash your hands with soapy water for a good 10 to 15 seconds before you use the toilet. Trust me on this, guys. Do not use the toilet before you wash your hands. I'm telling you from experience. Okay.
It sounds like there's a story there. Do we
There
want
is
to
a story.
hear that?
I don't think we have time to hear it. I would love to share it, but I can't.
I think we should.
Now, with these, okay, my daughter wants me to tell you the story. So one day I was cutting Thai chilies for making my own curry, and you have to cut lots of them. And I was cutting these, and you can see these seeds. This is where all the heat is. I was cutting these up. And fun fact for all of you, the red are not hotter than the green. The green and Thai chilies are much hotter. I was cutting up a bag, hundreds of green chilies to make my own curry paste. And I then went to the toilet. And, you know, guys, as we do, we tend to hold things so we can aim proper. And capsin from the chili goes through skin onto skin. The only way to cure that is milk. We'll just stop there. Okay, moving on. Wash your hands really well after that. I'll use like I have Dawn detergent soap and Dawn Cuts grease and all of that. So that will really, really help.
Are these called bird's eye chilies?
Yes, they can be bird's eye chilies, Serenero chilies, Thai chilies. Any one of those is good. Okay, so we have almost all of our items ready for the pad thai. We have chilies, we have garlic. I'm going to put this over here. We have our shrimp, our tofu. We need oyster sauce and fish sauce. We need paprika. I'm going to put this away because we won't need this. Okay, we'll need these when we're done. Now let's take a lime. Okay, my wife will be very happy with what I'm about to do because I never do this. So when you get veg from the store, you don't know how many people touch this, and especially with COVID. So that means the outer part of the skin can be covered with disease. So spray that bad boy with some vinegar and give it a good wash and rub under the water. Okay? Now, if you want your lime to be juicy, you give it a roll. And what you do is you press down with the ball of your hand, and you'll feel it. You're not trying to kill it, right? What you're trying to do is just feel like the inside feels soft and mushy. And that's nice. That should feel really nice right there. Okay? And then we'll just give this a cut into long quarters. So you want that like that. We'll need that for our meals. Let me grab a small bowl for these. Okay, and we'll keep that there. Perfect. Okay, let's see where we're at. Bam, 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 bam. We look like we're doing great here. Okay, we got a little bit of that. We got our stuff. That's soaking. We're going to give that a little bit longer. Okay, so here's what we'll do now. Normally, I will let the chicken go for a little longer, but we're about 30 minutes in and we want to get this cooked so we can actually eat it and enjoy it together. So I'll take a piece of tin foil or aluminum foil for you Brits.
Are you going to need my help this matter?
No. Thank you, though. I take a, whatever these are called, pan. Lay that on there, and now for the nasty job, we're getting our satay chicken. And I'll put that there. We'll confine the mess. Now, this is an important part of the job. You're going to get your hands dirty. Okay, so if you're grossed out by this, I'm sorry, but there's just no way. You kind of want to skewer it back and forth like that, but then when you get it on there as an accordion, you want to spread it out so it's flat. Okay, and that's an important piece of the puzzle. The end of those sticks should be nice and watered. That will help with keeping them from getting burned. What happens if you have a really short one? Let's see, like here, this is a short piece of chicken. So I would not want to just have a whole skewer just for that. So I'll tuck that down there, and then I'll grab another piece, like another short piece, so you could just keep skewering. Yeah, that one was not done proper. Yeah, okay, that's good. And if you're doing this along with me, boy, the smell of this is just wonderful. It is literally just fills your kitchen with beautiful smells of curry and coconut milk. Just makes you hungry. Just makes you hungry. Okay, let me move these knives over. That is a wrong move. Never have your knife pointing up. That's one way to get yourself killed, like a Scotsman. Oh. Okay. This is kind of like the boring part of hacking, you know, the report writing, you know, like you know what we're going to do here? We're going to cut that piece off. That's just some strangler. We'll just, strangler, where's Michelle Ward? Oh. Oh, well, sorry, thank you. Okay, this is what happens when I'm in the kitchen alone. I tend to talk to myself, and sometimes those thoughts aren't always the best. You guys are now involved in that because I can't hear you, so I feel like I'm alone. Shane, anything I need to worry about? Anybody asking to slow down, or where are we at?
No, no one is really asking you to slow down or anything. So I think we're getting closer on the ILF bucks, though. So little update.
That's great. Okay, so now we have our satay done. Okay, so this sauce does not go over this. Don't do that. You're just going to have a soupy mess. Sadly, this all just has to go down the drain. Okay? So
actually, somebody wants you to do more stabbing and fast forward the recording.
Well, there is no recording, so I can't fast forward. I'm really sorry that you guys feel there is a recording, since I'm working my butt off here to get you cooked properly. That's okay. That's okay. I'll take it. Okay. So we now have our satay done. I'm going to just give this a quick wash, this knife, because it got covered in some raw chicken. So we definitely don't want that. Okay, now what's important with these is we want these to kind of be separated out a little bit. They'll have a little bit of space in between them. This is nice right here, okay? And then we'll take these and we'll put these in the broiler. Now, these are thin, okay? So ladies and gentlemen, if your broiler's on high, we have to keep in mind that these are gonna need 3 to 4 minutes and then we need to flip them, okay? So we're gonna take these, put them right in there, and then we will get these 2 platters ready. Okay. Now, let's say we are ready to start cooking. So we're going to take 2 eggs. This is for a serving. So if you're making a serving of pad thai, you're going to take 2 eggs. You want to whisk these up. Don't need anything in them, okay? These literally just need to be whisked up eggs. Now, I'm going to show you a fancy way of doing pad thai. You don't have to do it this way. These eggs are going to go into the pad thai regardless or not. But here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a pan about this size. If you don't have one that size, any size is fine. We can make it work. We're going to turn that on medium-high heat, okay? We're going to let that get hot. A little bit of peanut oil, okay? A little bit of peanut oil. The Asians love to cook with peanut oil. We'll just put a little bit in there. I will also put a little bit in my wok while I'm pouring, although the wok's not on, that's fine. Okay, we're gonna let this get hot. Here's a good tip. Camera over here. Don't don't put food into a pan when it's cold. Okay, people do that often. There's only a few times you'd want to do that. Like if we were making fish and chips, I would tell you to wait till the oil's a little colder before you put it in, and it parboils. But when you're trying to fry things up, you don't want the pan to be cold. And sometimes people will do that and then try to cook it that way, and that's really not a great way of cooking food. It doesn't have the right consistency, and sometimes it can fall apart. And today, with these kind of items, we are going to require the pans to be quite hot. So we're going to let that get warm. In the meantime, what have we been at? 2 or 3 minutes? Take a quick look. Nope, not even near ready. So we will let that continue, and that will be good for us. So let that continue. We'll bring these eggs over shortly. Here. Now, you say, how do I know my pan is hot? Can you see that oil? It is not moving as wonderfully as I would like. So that is not hot enough. Plus, with peanut oil, you can have, it's a very fragrant smell once it gets warm, once it gets really hot. So you can smell that, and you can start smelling the peanutty smell there. Yeah, I can smell it too, but we're going to let that get just a little bit hotter. Okay, we'll let that happen. Okay, we got some more noodles over here, or what I refer to as, these are my nudes. Those are my nudes.
Stop.
What? I'm just showing people my nudes.
Stop.
I don't understand. I'm showing people my nudes. Look, here's a really nice nude. I'm just saying, these are my nudes. I don't understand what your problem is. I'm going to clean that up because I'm going to need that. Fine. I'm just taking a look at these noodles. So you can see that these have kind of nice, they're nice, and they're getting a little flimsy, which is good, but they need to be soaked a little bit more. Really, the total time should be 30 minutes, which we're just about at for soaking for those, and that's fine. Now, this pan should be plenty hot at this point. Yeah, you can kind of see, look how that oil just coats really nice. So we're going to put this egg in there. Perfect. If you put something like with steak, you want to hear that sizzle, right? But with stuff like this, when you put it in, you shouldn't hear your egg go shh, right? That's not really what we want to hear. We're just going to let that egg cook. Okay, let's see what else we got. Now, while we're waiting for that to cook up a little, maybe what I'll do is I'll just do some minor cleanup here. So we'll take that tofu, we'll wrap it in some kitchen wrap, because you want to keep it fresh for when you're going to use it. And the tofu is dead. There has been an accident. Clean up on aisle 5. I would not eat that tofu. I was standing on it. So sadly, all the things I just said to you about saving the tofu, it is now going to be... I do not want to wash food that's been on the floor with our dog and our cat and many other things. Okay, go wash your hands. I'm gonna. Okay, if your egg is sticking, just use a wooden spoon to free it up a little. You want it to be free like this. Right? And you want it in one piece. Now, let's say you break it, that's fine. Okay, if you break the egg, perfectly fine. What we're going to do is you're just going to add it scrambled. But if you want your pad thai to be fancy, if you're cooking this for your husband, wife, boyfriend, girlfriend, significant other, best friend, whatever, this is a fancy way of doing it. So we want to flip this egg to fry the other side, right? Oh boy, that's sticking. That's terrible. Look at that. Yeah, no, this is terrible. This. Oh, terrible. Okay, but that still worked. Just not a great flip, but that's okay. We'll make it work. Now, while that's finished cooking, I'm going to clean up. So, oh my. Yeah, that would be great. Hold on. Okay, here, you take this. I'll take this. Oh, and I'm covering the lens. Okay, take this, take this. Okay, and now I'm showing you the egg. Okay, so now what we'll do is we're just going to take this egg. We're going to lay it in a circle right there. Perfectly fine. We're going to shut this off. We'll move this. Okay, shut the heat off. Take it off the heat. And now we're going to quickly open the stove and take a look at these. These look great. So we're going to grab this. Now, it depends on how strong your fingers are, if you like heat or not, but you can turn these, because they were soaked in water, believe it or not, the ends of those wood should not be super hot. As you can tell, they're not char-burned, right? And we'll put them back in to cook the other side. Okay. We are at 12:40 and we are doing great with time. This is awesome. Okay.
How much time do we have?
Well, we have till 1 and we're near done. We're done. Yeah. Okay. Just put all this in here. Crush that garbage down. Wash my hands again. Okay.
All right, let me give you guys an update here real fast since we got a little lull. We have.
Hang on, before you give the update, while he's giving the update, let's do one thing.
Go for it.
If you're cooking along with me, turn your wok on so it gets hot, and I'm going to turn that wok on high. Okay, so turn that wok on high. We're going to let that get heated up. If you have a gas stove, you will need less time. So you can wait. If you have an electric stove, we need that wok to get heated up while Shane is giving us the update. Go ahead, Shane.
So they've figured out the issue with what's happening, and so they are reworking the back end of the system. The deal is simply this. Everyone who has donated today is going to get their ILF bucks, and we are going to start giveaways throughout the rest of the day. So everything that has been donated through Twitch will be accounted for, and you will get your ILF bucks for that. And so they are reworking all of that right now. So just hang tight, and nobody's going to lose anything.
Perfect. Thank you, Shane. Thank you. Okay, so I'm just going to wash this bowl real quick because I'm going to need it. Okay. Back up, please. Watch what we're doing. Okay, now this wok needs to be really hot. Okay, so we really want it to be hot. Now, this is not a great test, but some people do this. I heard this. You take like a drop of water. See, I don't hear the not hot enough. So we're going to wait. Okay, the wok needs to be hot for this next piece. Now, if you're using shrimp, we're going to put our shrimp in. If you're using tofu, you're going to put your tofu in. I'm going to put both in just so you can see both. Okay, what we're going to do is nothing else is going to go in there. We're going to fry them up until they're just about cooked, both of them. Okay, so you can hear it now. I don't know if you can hear that. I think the mic's on my face, so I'm putting my face close to burning oil. That's awesomely smart.
You can see it.
Okay, now I'm going to put the shrimp in. Perfect. Okay, so we'll get that fried in there. And then I'm also going to put my tofu in there. Okay, we're going to get the tofu. As you'll see, I'm not going to be as aggressive with the tofu as I am with the shrimp. Tofu is delicate, so we want that to fry up. For you vegans, I know you're going, what the heck have you done? You put meat with tofu. That's okay, because we're going to eat both.
In the camera, the red light looks purple.
Huh.
It's just purple.
Okay, now we're going to let that cook. Sadly, if you're like me and you're stuck in a place where you have to have an electric stove, electric is not great if you like to cook. Really, cooking with gas is the best way, but electric will do for now. We're going to let that heat up. I'm just going to take a look at these. These are looking really near done. Going to give that just a little. Now we're going to let them go through a little more crispy, maybe another minute. Okay, and then we'll take those out. Oh yeah, this is almost perfect. Look at that. And you notice if you're calm with your tofu, it only mildly breaks apart, right? So you don't want to get aggressive. You can use your wok like this. If you don't have a wok and you're using a frying pan, that's perfectly fine. Just be careful with the shakes that you don't spill it over or make a mass disaster like I just did with a half of a chunk of tofu for the love. Okay, and what you want is if you're using meat, you want your meat to be almost thoroughly cooked here. because when we put it back into the food, we're not going to spend a lot of time cooking it. So you want it to be most thoroughly cooked. If you're using tofu, you want your tofu to be stir-fried in that peanut oil. Now, when we're going to remove this, we're going to use a slotted spoon. You say, I don't have a slotted spoon. What do I do? That's fine. You can still use something like this or a wooden spoon, and you can take it and you can just drain it using 2 spoons like that. But what you don't want in your bowl is all of that oil on the bottom, because we're going to use that. And plus, I mean, I don't know about you, but I don't like eating just mouthfuls of oil. It doesn't taste good. It doesn't have a nice flavor. It's not very flavorful when it comes to food. Okay, so this looks just about done. You can see the shrimp. You say like how, you can kind of see. And if you, let's say you're really nervous, like, you know, you're new to cooking, you want to know. I don't really suggest this because it's not pretty on the plate, but you could just take a knife or something, cut it, and you can cut one of your thicker pieces of meat, look at it, and if it looks cooked all the way through, which this does, you could say, look, that looks good. It's white all the way through. It's not clear. Doesn't look mushy. So we could say this is done. Okay. So we're going to drain the oil. We're going to put that in a bowl there off to the side. Okay. Now you may be thinking, what about our satay? Well, we're going to take care of that. Just follow along here for 1 sec. We're going to take this out. Now take your peanut oil and put a little more in there. We want that to get nice and hot. Okay. You want about that much in there. Okay, now we're going to come over here. We're going to jump into the oven, take our satay out. This looks perfectly done. Look at that. I'm going to put this in a platter here. Woo! Those bad boys are hot. Yumma! Okay, and we'll take this and we'll put this over here for now. Okay, now our oil should be nice and hot, and it is. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to take our chili. By the way, I took the wok off the heat. Okay, I took it off the heat just for a minute because I don't want things to burn. Your garlic and your chili. Stir fry that up a little bit. Now, you grab paprika. We're going to put a tablespoon of paprika in there. Okay, this is a half a tablespoon measuring, so I'm going to put 2. Okay, put a whole tablespoon of paprika. I'm going to put that back on the heat, mix that up. I'm scraping the bottom. That's perfectly fine. I'm just getting some of those pieces up, and you'll smell all the paprika smells so wonderful while it's cooking, right? Okay, now while that's cooking, just very briefly, be quick about this. I'm going to come over here and drain these noodles. Some of that water. Okay, some of that water is saved in the bottom. Now, I'm going to take those noodles and I'm going to dump them right in the wok. You can hear that. I took the wok off the heat, by the way. Okay, guys and gals? Now I'm going to move that to the side. Moving those noodles to the side. You notice mine got a little black. That's perfectly fine. It's sad, but it's a little fine. That's, you know, I'm disappointed by that, but that's okay. We're going to take a tablespoon of fish sauce. And we're going to take a tablespoon of oyster sauce. And you can see I'm not really measuring too perfectly here. That's fine. A little bit of extra is never going to hurt. Okay, we mix that up. Mix that up. Mix those noodles up. Take a little bit of that pasta water, that noodle water that was in there, just a couple tablespoons, just to kind of keep it from sticking. Put that in there. Yeah, you see that color's coming back. It's looking beautiful. I had my wok a little too hot. That's fine. If you did that too, don't worry. You can always fix things. Things can always be fixed in the kitchen. You want to take your proteins, put them back in there. Give them a mix and incorporate them into the pad thai. I'm shutting the heat off. I'm killing my Okay, now, remember that beautiful egg that we put over here? That we put there? We're going to take our pad thai. We're going to put it in the middle of the egg. Now, I kind of made more than I should have, but if you made just one serving, you can kind of fold that up to make it nice and pretty. Okay, hang on, we're not done.
Hey, Chris, we have a question when you have a moment.
Yes, go ahead.
Why do you keep calling it pad thai?
That is the name of the recipe. Pad thai. I'm not sure if I understand the question. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to be a jerk. I just don't understand the question. That is what it is called.
I believe it's spelled P-A-D, and they're wondering why it's P-O-D.
Oh, it's not pronounced pad. It's pronounced pad thai. Okay, you put some fresh bean sprouts on top of that. Now, we take our peanuts, and if you don't have a mortar and pestle, okay, a lot of people don't have a mortar and pestle. So I'm going to take just a piece of kitchen wrap. That's perfectly fine. Pour some in the middle there. You don't need a lot, just a handful. Fold that over so it doesn't leak out. And you probably have some kind of crushing implement. You know, it could be something like this. It's perfectly fine. We're just going to give those peanuts a little crush. You don't need them to be dust, but they do need to be nice and small chunks, just like this. You see how beautiful that is, how nice that works? If you have a mortar and pestle, which I have over there, that beautiful one from Thailand, you can feel free to use that. You take a little bit of those peanuts, put them on top, okay? Now, you take a lime, like that. Beautiful lime there, like that. Take one extra lime, squeeze a little of that over the top. Okay, we take a little bit of the cilantro, a very little bit. This is mainly just a garnish.
Yeah, there was a little bit of concern about you crushing your nuts, but I think we got past that.
I did. I crushed my nuts in plastic wrap. It's the best way to crush your nuts. Okay, you sprinkle that on top, just like that. It should look beautiful. See how beautiful that is? Okay, so now let's plate this. We take a piece of satay if you were eating. Take a little bit of the peanut sauce and you just put that on the side. Okay. Now, where is my shing? Here we are. Okay, we'll take a chunk of this. Just cut that straight down like that. Get some of that egg in there. Beautiful egg. That's okay if you need a little knife help. Beautiful, isn't that nice? Okay, take a lime, squeeze a little more on top of that, put that on the side. Now, the Thai people do not eat with chopsticks. They eat with spoons and with forks. And then what you do is you give that to your helper who is standing here smelling the food, okay, the whole time. And we did that in 54 minutes with some catastrophe. So you guys now know how to make pad thai, chicken satay with homemade peanut sauce that is spicy and wonderful. And you've learned how to plate it properly, make it look pretty. And we're going to taste test this right now and see how it comes out. And this is, hopefully you guys enjoyed this. Yeah, we could switch to that camera. Okay, let's switch to this camera. How do I do that? Zoom. Chris, this. You cannot start your video because the host has stopped it. Oh, I need the host to allow me to start the Chris H camera. Can you let me start it, hosty host? No. Whoever's the host, Shane, somebody.
We're working on it, man.
Oh,
Hey,
okay.
don't forget, you got to sign that apron because we got to give it away.
Woo! We're raffling off this apron that's filled with fish sauce and my sweat.
Beautiful.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, maybe we should have thought that through a little better.
Oh yeah. Okay. So let's do a taste test. The pad thai. That is beautiful. The right amount of spice. That is so good. Take that chicken satay. You just dip that in that peanut sauce. Oh man, look at that. That's perfect. That tastes so good. How we doing with that camera? Nope. Okay. Well, I think we're just about at noon. Any other questions you guys have? Anything I can answer for you? My helper is dying to eat this. She's over here mouth watering.
That's okay.
Chicken satay. It's satay, not satay.
So Chris, we've got a question. How much does someone need to donate for you to come there and cook for them?
Why don't you?
That depends. Where do you live? And we'll just decide that if you live in a place that's really cool. And I think maybe the main question is, do you like pineapple pizza? Because the price is dependent on that.
Well, that just doesn't quite seem right.
No, that's okay. This is really, really good, guys.
Can
You
I
eat Thai with pineapple.
Tide Pod.
Sorry, go ahead, Heath. Yes.
can I provide some updates while we got a couple minutes here?
Please provide
So-
some updates.
We fixed the donation system. We're gonna give off some raffles here starting at 1 o'clock. So you're gonna see the raffle come through, and we're gonna do, instead of 30-minute raffles, some of the ones just to catch up, we're gonna do 15 minutes on. So you'll see the cost of it, and I'll bring it up. I can actually bring it up here on chat and what it looks like. So I'll open up a giveaway, and basically, for example, here, this raffle for the signed to ILF apron is going to cost 3 ILF bucks that you should have. You can do exclamation bucks to see your bucks. If you want to enter in for the signed giveaway here, all you do is say exclamation raffle 1. That'll give you 3. It'll cost 3 bucks for one entry. So if you want to enter in 15 bucks for that, you have to say exclamation raffle 5. You're going to have to do a little bit of math, chat. Just a little bit of math, and then you're all entered in. So we've got it set to where you can buy pretty much an unlimited amount of tickets. This will run for 15 minutes, and you guys, I'll keep you updated on who won, and then somebody from our team will reach out to you once that's all picked up. So just starting here in a couple minutes, in 2 minutes, I'll go ahead and get that started. You'll see it in the chat, and I'll remind you before we do get started with Zoe and Chris here.
That's awesome. We got things fixed. You guys work fast. Good team. So who's eating this with me? Who's eating? I want to know how does it taste? How do you like it? I want to know. Now everyone's stuffing their face, so they're not commenting. Tell her I sent it to Vince and to.
So at the mayor, we're raffling off all kinds of stuff. There's a prizes pages. So if you hit exclamation prizes, you'll get an idea of what it is, and that schedule is out there also.
We are raffling off this apron. We are. So who's eating this? Well, whoever caffeine is, if we hit that set 25,000 mark, I will be cooking a pineapple pizza, but it will be at my house. I'll show you something.
So someone wants to know if we're raffling off the rest of your clothes.
The rest of my clothes.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't want it, but you know, it was
I
legit.
made homemade pizza dough last night, guys. So here's what you got: homemade pizza dough. So if we get that 25K, that pizza will be there. But look, we're only at 7,100. I'm feeling hopeful.
Giveaway just open. Entry cost is $3. Exclamation raffle, and then the amount of tickets you want to buy. Simple math, chat. Here you go. If you want to enter in.
If you want some, yeah.
Raffle 10 would cost $30, so think about it. Think about it. Somebody's entered the giveaway. There you go. 1 ticket. Good stuff, chat. Hey, and if you're the only one who enters, guess what? You get the you get the apron.
I'll be right back.
Headphones on still.
All right, we got people entering in. It's working. Good job. Good job.